week, and there was this guy who's kind of a friend of ours, and he always stays in our house doing art. And I met him at the Lister party, and I said, you know, I've got this performance here, you really should come, it's going to be great. And he was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, tell me when. I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, this kiosk at Kazana, the green patch as you walk to our house? It's like, yeah, I think I know which one you mean. It says something like electronic something on it. It's like, yeah. It's like, oh good, yeah, they should do something good now, because what's in there at the moment is utter shit. I was like, yeah, that is my work. So he tried to make it better, and he was like, oh no, I mean the other kiosk, there's another one as you walk on. Whatever. So he didn't stay with us in the end, he just walked off. And I walked home, and I felt a bit confused. So I googled, you know, trying to find whether it was good or not. I googled it, and so I found out that maybe he was right, because it said sophistry. Okay, so sophistry is a productive art, human, of the imitation kind, copy-making, of the appearance-making kind, uninformed, insincere, and in the form of contrary speech-producing art. So, as a bit, okay, well, might have been right then. And then I thought, okay, well, how can I make myself feel better? Because I had another performance coming up, and I was like, well, I don't even want to have anything to do with it anymore if it's like shit. And I thought, who can build me up when I'm down? And I know who can. Dolly Parton can. She always can. And so I found this song, and that made me believe in it again. Okay, we're gonna sing it for you. Back through the years, I go wandering once again. Back to the seasons of my youth. I recall the box of rags that someone gave us, and how my mama put the rags to use. And there were rags of many colors, and every piece was small, and I didn't have the coat, and it was way down in the fall. Mama sewed the rags together, sewing every piece with love. She made my coat of many colors that I was so proud of. As she sewed, she told a story from the Bible she had read about a coat of many colors Joseph wore, and then she said, perhaps this coat will bring you good luck and happiness. And I just couldn't wait to wear it. Mama blessed it with a kiss. My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly. And although we had no money, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors my mama made for me. So with patches on my breeches and holes in both my shoes, in my coat of many colors, I hurried off to school, just to find the others laughing, making fun of me in my coat of many colors Mama made for me. And I couldn't understand it, for I felt I was rich. And I told them of the love my mama sewed with every stitch. And I told them all the stories mama told me when she sewed, and that my coat of many colors was worth more than all their clothes. They didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see what is only poor, only if you choose to be. And I know we had no money, but I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors. My mama made for me, made just for me. Talking of which, the last line made just for me. If you could just stay here at the end of the show, because I made a little something just for you. Thank you.
Hey bro, how's it going? You know I wasn't writing this because your hair's so long now.
Great, we're in for our first
A week old or something. He's already, you can take him around outside. It's not like
Nice and warm. So, I just have to assemble my foot now. So basically, how I just came in here, this is called the egg dance. Do you know this? This is like from the Middle Ages, because I think this work is about love as well. And so in the Middle Ages, if a man loved a woman and wanted to get married, yeah, they had to do this thing called the egg dance. And so they were blindfolded and they had to dance around eggs, blindfolded. And if they managed not to break one, then they could get married. If they did, then not. And it's funny because saying this is about love, because I think maybe you saw this Kylie in the background. Yeah, she's to me she's my idol and she's an artist as well. And she's a bit of a cuttlefish. I don't know if you know the flamboyant cuttlefish is very small like Kylie and really colorful like Kylie and really poisonous. And also, yeah, actually a bit like, but anyway, I'll tell you later. But so the thing is, the cuttlefish is a prehistoric messenger from the future, and this is also why I love Kylie so much, because to me, she is a prehistoric messenger from the future. Because if you see the video, yeah, like, oh, it's gonna come in a minute. She's like surrounded by old towels, and basically she realized that the towel was a trope in contemporary culture, like about 10 years before Salts did, or Alice did it, or any like contemporary white cube did. So, like to me, she is she is this visionary, yeah? And also she's kind of slightly poisonous because she's joking with us, because she's saying like, this video is called Slow. It's like 10 years ago she was telling us, fucking hell, you're slow with the towels, come on, this is fashionable. But anyway, and what was I going to say? The cuttlefish is the prehistoric messenger from the future, because he's got W's for eyes. So I'm thinking he might have been the first virtual animal, because I've also gone quite spiritual recently, and if you include his third eye, so then he's like WWW. And also, this is true, you can look this up, and also he's got 360 dpi on his skin, which is actually like 60 dpi more than you need for printing like high-res images. So he's like mega on top of it, cuttlefish. And another thing, because I'm pregnant heavily, and the cuttlefish is all about camouflaging, yeah? I'm camouflaging also because I'm wearing these Nike shoes, yeah? Because I think this is like what the contemporary artist also has to wear to sort of make himself unseen kind of thing. And the thing is, like, you only kind of do that also to be cuddled, like, right? And but the other thing about the cuttlefish is that on Urban Dictionary, right, if you go cuttlefish, then it says cuttlefish, and then it tells you that a man who's straight, who pretends to be gay just to get into bed with his best friend, that is a cuttlefish. And you know where that comes from? Because a little cuttlefish, what a cuttlefish does, yeah, because they're so amazing at camouflaging, they're so clever, because there's loads of guys and very few women, and the big guys, like, if they want to have sex with the women, they start fighting for the women, and the women are there, there's all the guys, and then the little guys who would have no chance in heaven or hell to get to that woman, yeah, they're so cunning. Then they disguise, they camouflage themselves as a woman. They take one tentacle in, because women have less tentacles, and then they swoop to the lady and they're like, ooh, and then they strike. And the woman has loads of sperm bags in her mouth, and she then later chooses which is the best genetic material. And she always chooses the drag queen. Which also kind of brings me back to Kylie slightly. Yeah. Anyway, this is Calamero. And looks like he's scribbling, yeah, because he's like listening carefully to what I'm saying, because later on he's going to have to say it. He's writing it all down. But do you know, he's called Calamero with sombrero, yeah, which is like cup. Do you know this? Like cup, yeah? This is a culturally uninformed person. Because, like, come on, you can't call him like a guy with a sombrero because he's like slightly dark skinned. That's completely off. And anyway, the thing is, because I thought that's a bit racist, isn't it, Calamero sombrero? Only because he couldn't take like the top of his eggshell off his head when he was born, and still has managed to, like, that's not his fault. And so, but then I researched this, and basically, what is funny, this is like a marketing strategy, and I'm going to talk about this more, this marketing stuff, because this is fascinating. This is actually an advert for soap, and they say he's just really dirty. Like, just wash yourself white, mate. But no, if that was the case, his eggshell would be dark as hell. So what the hell? I don't get it, but he's alright, and he's got to do me a favour. And another thing about the being dark and being washed white, I don't know if you know Sony. So my marketing strategy, or just strategy, is because I'm an artist, I haven't got much money. I want to come first, I want to be part of it, and I just want to have nice things in life, like everybody, right? So I got a budget from House Fairly Furniture, and I thought, how can I use this? And of course, then, because I couldn't afford these, they're 220, and it's like 400 francs. So this is like how I can use art in two ways as well, and also for myself. Because now I only have one shoe now, because the other one's like part of the installation still, but not for much longer. And anyway, having one shoe is also because another one of my idols, Charlie Chaplin, but I'll get to that later, talking about this. one shoe. But what I was going to say about this guy and also Missoni, there's like, you know, Play-Doh? Yeah, because these are made out of Play-Doh. And if you Google Play-Doh, it says disambiguation for the philosopher, go Plato. Like, yeah, no, I meant Play-Doh, but alright. And then I found out that Play-Doh, you know how that smelled so sweet? It's got such a nice smell. And so probably all artists started their career very young by modeling with Play-Doh. And so they made a perfume for young creatives that remember like their first steps in the business. And now we can wear them, and now I wear that. This is like, but you probably can't smell it. But what I was going to say about Play-Doh. Oh yeah, about Play-Doh and Missoni, because this is fascinating. Because Angela Missoni met somebody called Rosario Missoni, and Rosario was a hurdle runner. So he was a sportsman, but his family also made sports gear. They actually made woolly tracksuits, Italian woolly tracksuits. And the hurdle running is quite funny because that's a bit like the egg dancing, I thought, as well, so it fits quite well. And he met Angela Missoni, and her family come from tapestry. They made like wallpaper. And the coincidence here is that Play-Doh rebranded itself, because before it was Play-Doh, it wasn't called Play-Doh, it was a little bit of, it was like a sticky thing that you used to get coal of wallpaper. You know, like the... And then they had like, the business almost went bankrupt until one of the Play-Doh families realized that actually kids were using it in primary school to make Easter eggs out of it. And then they rebranded it as a Play-Doh. It's like, yeah, also, like talk about rebrand and stuff. Like, you know how this looks a bit like a happy, yeah? And also, this is not important, but I was just going to say, like, I've got my heart on a string, and then I thought also of strings and laces, and how if you do the egg dance, it's better not to have like actually laced shoes, but just slip-on shoes. And then I thought about shoes and laces some more, and also about my favorite filmmaker who, like me, has a bit of a problem. On one hand, he talks about like happiness through possessions and money, and how that is completely off. But at the same time, he wants the cash, and he actually got really rich. So Charlie Chaplin, and because it's Gold Rush is all about that, right? The Industrial Revolution and the gold digging and blah blah blah. Anyway, the point is, there's a scene, yeah, where he's only got one shoe on because he's starving, and he decides to eat the other shoe. Or rather, the guy that he's acting with decides, or actually the character decides to eat the shoe. And then the character, I thought, is an amazing actor, because he sits there and he's like this, because he's starving, you know, they're like in some mountain somewhere in America. And I was always like, this is like the best actor I've ever seen, until I realized that what Charlie Chaplin does, yeah, because he's a perfectionist, he reshoots the scene so many times until he's absolutely happy with it, and he'll improvise and improvise and improvise. So I can relate to that a lot. He'll just go on until it's right. And this guy had to eat this shoe that was made out of licorice 176 times. And licorice is actually gives you constipation. So that look was actually like just reality. But then that makes you think, doesn't it? Like it's still. But then there's that scene, yeah, where where the shoe becomes food. But then there's another scene where food becomes shoe, which is when he takes he's got the bread rolls and he puts the forks in them and he does the little dance. I don't know if you've seen this. It's called the bread roll dance. And the funny thing is, that is the first scene. You know, if you think of cinema being linear, that is the first scene ever that got a standing ovation in cinema and had to be rewinded and played again. So that is like how I guess
this stage. I can't be so precise about this because at this point I started thinking about something called, well, precision and accuracy. And I also remembered what this guy said at Lister Party and how my work's not precise enough. And I was like, yeah, okay. So what does it mean? And so then I found out that precision is something that is repeatable, yeah? And that's true. That's not me and not my work either. But accuracy, funnily enough, is something that is as close to reality as possible. And that made me think of Charlie and the Shoe Dance again, and also about Kylie. This is like a great game between accuracy and precision. But that's just something in the line of research and maybe not quite so interesting. So you've been talking about line also. So you know how there's this thing graffiti, yeah? It's urban art. But then there's also this thing called shoofiti. And shoofiti, the funny thing is, it's a meme. There's a thing in genetics called memetics, yeah? And this is about genes proliferating. And they do that while giving up their content because it's easier to spread if you give up content. And I thought, yeah, I can relate to that. Like on Facebook, for example, I do this all the time. Like my job is basically to be ubiquitous, and it doesn't really matter what with as long as I'm there. And then I googled this thing called shoofiti, and it told me it's a meme. So I thought that's quite interesting because then I realized that actually the meme, it doesn't matter, it means something, yeah. But the thing is, we don't know what. So a boy had sex for the first time. Gang war. Somebody got released out of the army. Drug den. And some more things. That's what it means. And I thought, you know, this, what I said, like to be ubiquitous online, this is so, like, it's a thing, sometimes it makes me a bit sick, right? Because it goes really, really quickly, and you're not in control anymore. And basically I just want to throw up online, yeah? But then there's the screen, and then there's your mates, and actually you can't, like, there's always this screen to protect them from you, and sometimes you just want to get out there. But then I thought, I know. When it's Art Basel, I did this for Art Basel, I got loads of shoes customized, and they're Nikes, and they say online, and I gave them to people, but they had to tie a knot in their shoes and throw up online, and there they are. And they threw up online, but the deal was they now wear my shoes, and the shoes say online. And then people say, oh, why does it say online on your shoes? And then I'll be like, or they'll be like, oh, because this is artist in Basel, she's called Sophie, and yeah, basically I threw up online there, or something. And that way, like, I can get out and out, and they anyway. So I've also still got some necklaces, that's why I was saying earlier. Just like hang around afterwards. And I was also going to talk to you about the stage maker bird. Do you know this? Because Deleuze talks about the stage maker bird as the true artist, and this is really fascinating because basically, so the bird wants to have sex with women, yeah, like with women birds, like any bird, but he needs to attract attention. So how does he do that? The same way like how I did this, because the eggshells are white, yeah, but if I turn them around, they're a different color. So the stage maker bird takes the leaf that's fallen onto the ground and it looks like same color as the ground, and then turns it round and it sticks out because it's got a different color. I think it's red. So it's red. And the stage maker bird hops on it and tweets its song, which has a sole purpose to him, that of getting laid. But then at the same time, all other animals, all humans can listen to this beautiful song and go like, that is beautiful. Like that might even be art. So that's interesting. And then also, there was this other guy, Messiaen, which ironically is like Missoni also, like Messiaen. And he also took birdsong and transcribed it into music, which actually then looks a bit like this pattern again, because I saw it, and it actually looks like that. And I was also going to tell you something else about art and not art. And because shoes and eggs and things, and it's called egg shoeing. And there's this thing called egg shoeing, and basically, also again in the Middle Ages, there was, the blacksmiths, yeah. There was a competition. The person that could put as many, most tiny horseshoes on an egg as possible was the best blacksmith in town. And you're like, yeah, respect mate, but honestly, like, who needs horseshoes this big? Like, maybe the flamboyant cuttlefish you can, because he can't swim, that's the crazy thing. So maybe you could be like on a tiny horse, but then the horse would drown. It's totally pointless. So maybe that is what differentiates kitsch from art as well, I thought, because like, but that would also mean that the guy at Lister Party was wrong, because actually, then this is art, because I'm doing one thing, yeah, which might be beautiful, like at least I try, yeah. And, but on the other hand, I made this, and I got something which is totally on a different line, which is, I got this, and I also got a pair of shoes. Like I said, so it's had like two purposes, at least two purposes. Yeah. Hold on. Oh yeah, also I was going to say another thing about, do you know, like what I said about copia? Culturally unaware person. So this guy, he's also here to sort of identify with you guys, because like people go like, and he's like, yeah, what the, I don't get it either. And then I checked, and actually, like on Facebook you can make this quiz, what color are you? And I'm blue. Because I want the Beatles to play at my wedding, and I like snorkeling. I think I would rather eat pasta than anything else. Yeah. Anyway, and then it turns out I'm blue as color. And the good thing about blue is it's about wisdom and insight and spirituality. So I thought, if I fill this cup with blue, which also then again looks like Kylie's pool, which fits, and obviously it's a place for the cuttlefish to roam around and stuff, then he might get it, and maybe that will inspire you to then also get it. And yeah. Did I tell you about the chicken and the egg? Because this is Play-Doh. Like, not Play-Doh, like I said, because that's also why I had to use Play-Doh, because I wanted to get to Play-Doh, but this is the paradox, Plato's paradox. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The egg. Because genetics found out it's not even a paradox anymore, because the egg holds all potential's in the egg. The egg, the present is an egg laid in the past, which has the future in its shell. So then I was also thinking about Calimero and how he's the present, because he's always present. Like when I leave, he's the guy who actually tells you about it. So that is also true. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Is it the 60s? Is something going to happen?
I told you.